What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Full 90. It is time for another episode of the Full 90 Best Bets. If you don't know what this is a video where we go over all of the leagues, all of the fixtures over the upcoming weekend and come up with a bunch of different singles for you. And then towards the end of the video, as we are streaming this live, I will interact a little bit more with the live chat and we can build some accas together. I also sometimes, when I see picks that I really like, create accumulators along the way. So if there's one video from the Full 90 that you want to watch this week, make it this one. So drop a like, subscribe down below to get involved, and we can get started in just a second. I'm making sure that everything is all good with the stream, because obviously, as I said, I am streaming this live. So if you're someone who's watching this video after it's been live streamed, which is typically between 4 and 6 p.m. UK time on Fridays, recently, or more recently, it's been 4 p.m. to allow for a 6 p.m. upload, then make sure you subscribe down below and turn on the bell so you don't miss any more football content. Now, if you take a look at the screen here, if we go to the top leagues and everything for the weekend, there is no Premier League action, and that is because it is an FA Cup weekend. You will see some people making FA Cup content and videos and everything like that. I myself haven't made an FA Cup video, so all of my tips and picks for the FA Cup are going to be in here in this stream and in this video. So very, very exciting stuff. There's tons of fixtures as you scroll down here, and there's also a few on the Friday, which is tonight. I will say there is Mali and Senegal kicking off basically now. My tip is Senegal win to 0, Senegal in under 3.5 goals, Senegal to win even. Senegal to win on its own is 1.8 odds, which is ridiculously good. So either way, we're going to get straight into the tips in just 1 second. What I'm going to do, because I'm signed in a different account, so I'm going to check and see that it's gone live. I believe it has, because we've got a message. There we go. Hola, hello, there we go. We are, in fact, live. So if you could do me a favor of dropping a like. If you're watching and you drop a like on mobile, there's a cool little animation, because this is a football stream. When you press like, a football comes across the like button. Whether you're watching it live or the video, click like and look at the football animation. It's really cool. It's a cool thing that YouTube does for sports channels. So drop a like and then we can get sorted and get into it. So I've got 18 tips for the FA Cup. There are, of course, other fixtures and everything like that, but we're going to go with the ones that I like particularly the best. We're going to start off with both teams to score tips from the FA Cup. Let's go. We got Dev, we got Amrash in the chat. Hello, everybody. So I like MK Dons and Oxford United, both teams to score. I'm scrolling through. I've got a Premier League Championship matchup, Fulham Middlesbrough tomorrow, both teams to score. Corey says, will you touch on Barcelona and Real Madrid for Sunday? I will. I do have a pick for that game. Real Madrid, of course, beating Atletico Madrid 2-1 last night. Also, if you want to get involved with the Stake Builder Challenge and everything like that, you want shout outs in all the videos that aren't live, you want direct messaging access to me, everything like that, click the Patreon link in the description. I've got stake builders coming up for tonight and tomorrow, so check that out and join. But we move on to the other both teams to score. We have a Premier League clash between Tottenham and Aston Villa, and then another Premier League clash on Sunday between Manchester United and Brighton. So these are my 4 picks for both teams to score in the FA Cup. I mean, if you want to make that an accumulator, by all means do. But basically, the Patreon, Stefan, is $12.99 a month. I've seen some people charge about $48 for their Patreon. I'm just like, jeez, that is a lot. But $12.99 it is a month, and you get all those perks. You can also message me directly and everything like that. So both teams to score, those 4 teams. Again, you could do an acca, but remember, for the stream, these are all singles, and I'm just using essentially this acca to show you it. But anyway, any other tips that aren't particularly winning or anything like that, I'll add now. I'll sign up tonight. You love to see it. Thank you, Stefan. I appreciate that. I do think it's a good price as well. So from not in the win market, I'm going for Manchester City to beat Exeter to 0 at odds of 1.83. Then I've got Brentford to beat Sheffield Wednesday on a -1 handicap. Sorry for the really fast scrolling, but it is all the way down here. So we're going to go Brentford -1. A couple of total goals as well, I believe, in the clashes between Portsmouth and Arsenal, over 2.5 goals. Really nice odds there. And Liverpool-Barnsley on Monday night. So those are the picks that aren't just outright winners. I've got 10 more outright winners for the FA Cup. But BTTS for these 4 teams: Man City win to 0, Brentford -1 handicap, and then plenty of goals for Portsmouth, Arsenal, and Liverpool, Burnley. the the Liverpool-Arsenal game, or Arsenal-Liverpool game yesterday. Oh my goodness, it was frustrating. Liverpool parked the bus in the first half. Arsenal dominated. Then Arsenal played awful in the second half. Liverpool dominated. And then right at the end, Gabriel has a chance to win it with a header on the back post and scuffs it, and it just doesn't go in. But anyway, we're here to talk FA Cup. Port Vale to win tonight. I do actually quite like Preston to win. I also like Preston and Wigan, both teams to score, but I've left it alone for now. Wrexham, Nottingham Forest should be a really great game. I didn't include that in both teams to score. I'm going to add that now. I really should have included that. Wrexham and Nottingham Forest BTTS. I'm just going to write that in right up here under this one. Wrexham / Nottingham Forest BTTS. I think that's a really nice pick. I could even potentially see a cheeky little upset there. But other full-time results, we've got Leicester to beat Cheltenham, Palace to beat Macclesfield. Obviously, the dream is that Macclesfield can get some kind of upset, but I don't see it. Similarly for Wolves and Shrewsbury. These two just nice little boosts to any kind of ACCA. Burnley to beat Millwall at home. Southampton to beat Doncaster away. Ipswich to beat Blackpool at home. I like Newcastle at 1.75. Bournemouth, obviously, officially without Antoine Semenyo. Scores a late winner for them against Spurs. That is the most Spursy thing to do, by the way. To lose to the team by the scoreline that Arsenal beat that same team the week prior. So Arsenal beat Bournemouth 3-2. Spurs play them next and lose by that same scoreline. It's hilarious. We've, of course, got Brentford -1 handicap already. Moving on, Grimsby Western-super-Mare. What a matchup. Chelsea to beat Charlton. Rosignier's first game in charge. Then I have Sheffield United to beat Mansfield. Even though Mansfield are decent, I think there we go. Those are all of my FA Cup picks. 19 singles, but if you chuck them all together, it's 5,000 to 1. It's not as high as the highest odds winner I've had. Obviously, those that watch the channel regularly and know a little bit more about me personally, whatever, will know that, you know, back in 2018, I did win a 7,800 to 1 ACCA. It was a 12-fold. A lot of Championship, League 1 and League 2 winners. And that was my best bet. And that same day, I was 1 goal away. Berry and crew drew 1-1. 1 goal away from a 14-fold 78,000 to 1 ACCA, which just would have been, I mean, absolutely life-changing at the time, but unfortunately didn't come in. But those are the selections. Cameroon 1 up. They're obviously not playing right now, are they? They're playing later. Mali and Senegal are playing now. Currently, Mali, I can't even see the stats because I've zoomed in so far, but Mali and Senegal are playing now. I'm guessing you mean as a pick Cameroon to win to an extent. But anyway, let's go back to the weekend soccer. We're going to move on to Spain now. And I'm going to start off with whether this is a spoiler. Corey did ask if we would touch on Barcelona and Real Madrid. Barcelona are just so good. They smashed Bilbao 5-0 in the semi-final. Real Madrid beat Atletico Madrid 2-1. And that right there, I think, sums it up. I just think Barcelona are in a really good spot right now. So Barcelona to win the match. Not even win the trophy, win the match. Incredible scenes in the French Cup as well, where Marseille were 2-1 up with 1 minute to go in stoppage time. PSG make it 2-2 and then win on penalties. So Marseille were 1 minute away from winning the French Super Cup, and PSG go and take it. But I do think Barcelona win here. Tonight, Getafe plays Real Sociedad. This one's an intriguing one because obviously every Getafe game under 2.5 goals is really low odds. But I could also see this being a 1-1. And you look at both teams to score, you've got 2.37. I think it could be a draw, 1-1, 0-0. But either way, I'm going to ignore that. We're going to go tomorrow. Real Oviedo host Betis, where I think Betis win. Villarreal, I know they had a shock loss. Was it a shock loss, or am I thinking of Sevilla? Villarreal losing. No, it wasn't Villarreal. It was. I mean, they lost to Paphos in the Champions League. That was pretty shocking. But it was Sevilla that had the shock loss to Levante. Villarreal to beat CD Alaves. Definitely. I just think that's going to happen. I like both teams to score for Girona Osasuna. Then I've got Vallecano to win, Sevilla, Celta Vigo, both teams to score, and then a couple of draw no bets just to err on the side of caution. So Valencia at home against Elche, draw no bet 1.61, and Espanyol away to Levante, Espanyol draw no bet. Obviously Espanyol winning 5 in a row before their last game against Barcelona where they lost 2-0. So these are the picks for Spain. Obviously this being a Super Cup matchup, 1.95 for Barcelona. Real Betis, Villarreal, Vallecano had to go with the win just because the odds for draw no bet weren't great. But Valencia and Espanyol, the odds for draw no bet were good enough in my opinion. And then BTTS, Girona, Osasuna, and Sevilla, Celta Vigo. But yeah, Getafe, Sociedad, obviously happening tonight. I really like draw. And when it's so low scoring, you can see why. Obviously, I could see 1-0, but yeah, I think draw. Appreciate all the chat as well. Every opinion you have on the fixtures. I love it. Keep it coming. Yeah, I think that could end 1-1. I think that'll probably be quite high odds, actually, because of the both teams to score. Still only 6. When BTTS is 2.37, to have 1-1 as 6 is pretty nuts. But all these scores very, very likely. I could see either one of these three, really. Even that. These three, it makes sense why they are the way they are. If you can squeeze in the Eredivisie and Scottish Premiership teams, I would appreciate that. I do have a Netherlands section, and I can look at Scotland. I looked at Scotland. I just haven't written it down, but I remember what I thought. So, yep, I can check out both of those. But we move now to Italy. Obviously, if you will be watching all of my videos, you will... Yeah, the Eredivisie game tonight is postponed, but as it stands, tomorrow is still being played, so we can only go with what we know. I believe, anyway, unless there's been new updates since I started. If we go right at the bottom, yeah, they're still due to be played tomorrow, so all good there. Plenty of snow. We're starting with BTTS for Como and Bologna. I do also think Como to win at 1.95 is a decent shout. Speaking of decent shout, Udinese to beat Pisa, Roma to beat Sassuolo, Atalanta to beat Torino, Lecce and Parma, I'm going to leave it alone. I like AC Milan to beat Fiorentina, but another tip... So I'm going to put it as the main one, is both teams to score at odds of 1.8. And finally, Inter Milan to beat Napoli at 1.7. I did think about both teams to score there, but I think Inter Milan are just very, very decent. Also, for some reason, I didn't put this in there, so I'm going to write this now. Juventus to win and under 4.5 goals, which is right there. The odds are not too bad, 1.53. I'll take that. I think that's pretty decent. So those are the picks for Italy. BTTS, Como, Bologna. Could be a 1-1, 2-2, 2-1, that kind of thing. Pisa should lose away. They should lose every away game. So I'm happy to go with Udinese at those odds. The Napoli shock draw. Oh my God. Yeah, don't get me started. Napoli going 2-0 down. A chance to go top of the league, and Napoli go 2-0 down to Verona, who are in the relegation battle. They obviously scored 2 goals. They did have disallowed goals as well, Napoli, so they could have won it, but... yeah, that did kill a lot of people. Atalanta to beat Torino at home. I like BTTS, Fiorentina, AC Milan, Fiorentina making that resurgence. If you've been watching the Serie A videos, which I know a lot of you have, there is another Serie A video going out today at 6. I talk about it almost every week that I don't think Fiorentina are going to get relegated. And I said that when they were way, way down and out. And yeah, I think they're a decent team anyway. Inter Milan to beat Napoli as well. And now Germany is back, and it's kicking off tonight with an absolute barnstormer. It's Eintracht Frankfurt up against Borussia Dortmund. I do think Dortmund can win, but it's away from home. First game back. I'm going to err on the side of caution and say both teams to score. Similarly, Heidenheim, Köln, both teams to score at 1.61. Anthony and everyone else, if you're wondering, with regards to picks exclusively for Friday, I'm going to put them towards the end of the video / stream so that people that are watching live can watch it. But then that way, obviously, if I started the stream with that and someone's then watching this tomorrow, they won't want to watch it. So I'll put the Friday stuff at the end when you're there. Dortmund and both teams to score, I absolutely agree. I really like Freiburg to beat Hamburg. St. Pauli Leipzig has been postponed, so we can forget that tip there. To be honest, Leipzig are a little bit of a ticket buster anyway, so we can leave that alone. Suzanne Ruler says FA Cup prediction. If you on YouTube, even though you're watching live, if you scroll back about 10 minutes, I go through 19 different picks for the FA Cup if you want to watch that. And then when you've watched that, you can press the live button and catch up with us live if you want to. Moving on to the next one. I had this one. That was going to be a lot of goals, but I've obviously, you can't pick that because it's been postponed. Bayer Leverkusen to beat Stuttgart. I think being at home after the winter break is a big advantage, but also as a separate single, both teams to score at 1.44. This slip is obviously going to combine it at 3, which, to be honest, I think is pretty good. Finally, Borussia Mönchengladbach to beat Augsburg and Bayern Munich to beat Wolfsburg. The odds are way too low, so we're going to go for it. Bayern Munich and both teams to score. I think Wolfsburg are a good enough team to score. Kane to score at 1.4 is absolutely disgusting, by the way. But those are the picks remaining from the Bundesliga after the sort of postponed fixtures. But honestly, I don't hate that as a speculative, like, ACCA, 50-1. I don't hate that. I think that's going to happen. I think Dortmund could probably win. Honestly, if you want to go speculative, Germany, result on both teams to score, go Dortmund, Leverkusen, Bayern. 20-1, 3 results, 2 concede. Frankfurt are a very good team when they're at home. They should score. Stuttgart are a very good team. They should score. Wolfsburg should be good enough to score. And Bayern Munich often leak one because they don't have to worry too much about keeping clean sheets because they just blow teams away. So I like that as a result, and both teams score treble for Germany. We move on to France, where we don't have Ligue 1 because the France Cup now is here. The next bit of silverware in France, starting with Orleans against Monaco. I like over 2.5 goals. PSG and Paris FC on Monday, a repeat of the fixture they just played in the league, which ended 2-1 to PSG. I think it could be the same. You could go PSG and both teams to score, but I'm going over 2.5 goals again. Lille and Lyon, I'm going for both teams to score, and then a few winners here. I've got Reims right here, Lens, Nice, and Nice. That's it. I like the odds to win against Nantes. I know that Nantes somehow got an unbelievable win against Marseille, 2-0. Don't quite know how they managed that, probably because I backed him. But there's the sixfold for the France Cup. Again, this I do really like. To be honest, if I had to go for an ACCA, I would take off the Nice away from home. That's a really, really nice accumulator for the French Cup. Lens to win, Reims to win, Lille, Lyon both to score, over 2.5 goals for Orleans, Monaco, and PSG, Paris FC in their derby. So 8.24, if you're going to do a French Cup ACCA, that would be something worth considering. Do you keep an eye on the Saudi League? I do a little bit. Yesterday I had over 3.5 goals in was it Al Hilal's game, I think it was, and it ended 3-0. So that's just lovely. But yeah, that's France. Now we move on to internationals. We've got AFCON. This is still in play. If you want to get on this now, I would tend to say Senegal to win. The odds are 1.83. Their possession is 73%. For some reason, I'll just zoom out for a bit so you can see this real quick. They're dominating the game, generally speaking. Mali's barely getting any possession. This is a great in-play pick for me. Senegal to win. Anthony! Yo! Let's go. £4.99 donation. Every donation, of course, I will read. You've made me a lot of money, mate. Since 1st of December, I'm up 7k. Lost some, but one more thanks to you. Severe Game as Wild happens. Thank you, Anthony, for that. I really appreciate the support. Of course, that is the mindset to have. There are no guarantees. There's no such thing as a sure thing. Like, for example, I could, in theory, say under 4.5 goals here is a guarantee. And whilst, the odds are very, very low, they might score 5 goals. So there's no such thing as a guarantee. But the fact that you found the channel just over a month ago and you're already up £7,000 is absolutely awesome. Is that from exclusively the free content, or are you part of the Patreon as well? Either way, I'd love to know. But I'm so glad you can find some value in this content because, yes, I do have some content behind a paywall on Patreon, $12.99, but I spend hours a day on the content for Patreon. I post every single day on there. I do other league predictions. You can, of course, message me. You get shout-outs in every single video. So given that, I think it's a fair price, but there's also so much content here on the Full 90 for free, including this show, all the leagues we do, all the other videos we do. So I think I'm providing a lot of value, and to hear that you're up 7k is awesome. So I'm really, really happy for you. Long may it continue. Let's get back to the AFCON picks. So we're going to zoom in now so you can get a better view. So Senegal to win. I'll keep that there for now. Morocco win to 0 against Cameroon, I think is pretty good at 2.2. But honestly, just Morocco to win. They've played some exquisite football. I think Morocco can win. It is possible Cameroon could score as well. Similarly, I like what Algeria are doing. Nigeria, I think, maybe could win. And Algeria have had really good defence. But Nigeria tend to always score, but also do concede the odd goal. So I think both teams to score at 2 is really, really good. And then Egypt, Ivory Coast, I'm going for a boring... It might not be boring, but a low-scoring game under 2.5 goals. Thank you, Amresh. I really appreciate that. I will keep it up. I love making this content. If you guys don't know, another bit of lore about me. I've been a full-time YouTuber for 9 years, nearly. 9 years next month. And obviously, I started the Full 90 7 years ago. But the Full 90 didn't really start picking up and taking off massively since the last year and a half, I would say, since the Euros and the last season, this season. That's where the full 90's really taken off. And I just want to say, you know, obviously, like I said, I've got my other channel and everything where that's been my job and everything for nearly 10 years. But this is the stuff that gets me really excited, because football is something that I'm still really passionate about. I love numbers. I love finding and extracting value, creating value for people. So I would argue, you know, I've always said this. Let's say, you know, I won the lottery or whatever, and I didn't have to worry about making a living or anything like that. What would I still do? I probably wouldn't do my other channel, but I would still do the full 90. Even if I didn't need any money ever, anything like that, I'd still do the full 90 for free, because I just enjoy it so much. So thank you so much for being here with me. Those are my AFCON picks for the quarterfinals. Of course, you can check it out. As you can see, as Senegal dominate Mali more and more, the odds are going down and down. Emma. Shout out Uganda. Obviously, this was at 1.9 or 1.8 when we called it earlier, but it's just going down and down. So there we go. Thank you so much for the support, as I said. Let's move on to the Netherlands. I've not been here a while. I'll be honest, a couple months, but has been the best couple of months in the betting department. Let's go, Anthony. It's great also the streams as well, because I get to see regulars that pop in every single week. We've also got some picks for Greece and Turkey, because the Turkish Cup final is on. But we're going to move to the Netherlands now, which is all the way down here. Portugal Premier League. Oh, yeah, I've ignored that because there's some nothing fixtures there. Alkmaar and Twente to win. Like, shock. You know, it is what it is. PSV to win -1 handicap against Excelsior. I thought about -2, but -1 at 1.44 seems fairly decent to me in what could be a stinky 2-0. BTTS now, as I scroll all the way down for Heerenveen Feyenoord. Go Ahead Eagles for Fortuna Sittard. And then I'm back in Ajax to win against Telstar, because Telstar are rubbish. So those are the Dutch picks, the Dutch sixfold. Now we can head over to Greece. Akil, I can give you the best 10 odds for the weekend. We'll do that very soon. We're almost done with the league. So we're going to head over to Greece now. There's the Cypriot division. I mean, if you want Albania cut, where's Cyprus? Cyprus Division 1. Quick little look. There's Paphos. Can't believe it. Greece Super League. So we've got PAOK Salonika to win. Levadiakos to win. AEK Athens to win, and then I've also got Olympiakos and Panathinaikos to win 2-0. Right here, Olympiakos, Panathinaikos at home to win 2-0. Now, the Greek league is the best league for these live streams in terms of going 100% for the category, partly because there's fewer games and fewer tips, but there's been a few weeks on these lives where every tip I've done in this exact format has come in and therefore created like an ACCA win. So this is not an ACCA I would shy away from if you want. And hey, this is 10 odds. So obviously you're putting a lot into one league for it all to go your way. But I do think all of these 5 are going to happen. Obviously, odds are they won't, because the odds for them to all happen are 10-1. So therefore the odds definitely are they won't, but it's possible. And I like all of the selections. Now, just one final game. Can you give 5 teams to win this weekend? I can. Just going to go to, if it is on this page, I don't think it will, the Turkish game between Galatasaray and Fenerbahce, which is going to be right here. Firstly, you could go Galatasaray to win. I think you're better off going Galatasaray to lift the trophy. So that means they could draw and then win on penalties or extra time. Similarly, both teams to score. Naturally. Obviously, Galatasaray and both teams to score. That is a shout as well. So there we go. Obviously, a lot of teams still on the winter break. So drop something in the comments if you want me to do something live. I'll have a quick sip of drink and then we can get to it. So we don't have any Portuguese, Austrian, Belgian, Danish, Serbian, Swiss or Ukrainian tips this stream like we normally do, because they're still on their sort of sabbatical from football. So if we look at 5 teams to win this weekend, we'll stay clear of the FA Cup for now. Roma, Atalanta, Juventus. We don't want to wait all the way to Monday night, but hey, Juventus. You could even do Udinese and Inter. If you want 5 to win and you want it 10-1 and you want it from one league, this is what I would suggest. Roma, Atalanta, Juventus, Inter Milan and Udinese. But a lot of people don't like Italy. Think it can be tricky to predict. And that is true. That is true. Result on both teams score fivefold. Now we're having some fun. This is, of course, all a bit of fun. Barcelona and both teams to score. I think that's a good one. I'm looking here. Don't see any others that speak to me there. Dortmund and both teams to score. I always think Friday night games, though, are a bit tricky for Germany. But I do like Bayer Leverkusen and Bayern. France, again, cup games are interesting. But I do think PSG and both teams to score is a nice little pick. And then I think if we go here, one for the FA Cup, possibly Newcastle. There's a 5 result on both teams to score for you, if you like. Newcastle in the cup against Bournemouth. PSG, Bayern and both teams score. Bayer Leverkusen, Barcelona. Do you do your BTSS enroll separately so you receive early pay? No, generally, if I'm backing a result on BTTS, ACCA, I'm not doing them separately. I'm doing them together because that's where the mega odds sort of come in. So, yeah, generally, if I'm going for something more risky, something more like enjoyable and exciting, I would combine them too, like this. Good evening, bro. Watching you live from Kampala, Uganda. Love your show. Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate that very much. But let's see. I wonder if there's any sort of upsets we can kind of go for. Possibly even Wrexham at 4.2 is not horrible. I think if we go result on both teams to score, you want to look at teams that are better but might randomly struggle. So like Leicester, 3.4. Palace have got to win to 0. And Wolves have got to win to 0. I'm so sorry. But Southampton and both teams to score. Fulham and both teams to score. Newcastle, as I said, I think Brentford will win to 0. If we keep going, possibly Birmingham and both teams to score. Villa and both teams score at 5. I saw that in the chat earlier. You know what? Chuck it in. Chelsea and both teams to score I really like as well. So let's remove the wins to 0. Look at that. Look at that. Someone said, "Can you do a 2,000 odds?" Look at that. An FA Cup result on both teams to score 6-fold. No, I mean the same ACCA, just pick the result, then both teams score, so it's like 2 things the same slip. Oh, yeah. So, Anthony, that's predicting the result and both teams to score on the same slip is exactly the same as this single selection. So, if you look here, Chelsea and both teams to score is 2.87. If you take that off and you do Chelsea to win and both teams to score, it will combine the odds to make less for some reason. So, you're actually losing money doing that. I don't know why the odds there would be less. Should be the same. Let me try for another one, actually. I don't know why this would be the case. So Leicester, 3.4. If you go Leicester and both teams to score, that should still be 3.4, and it is. So there was a weird bug with the Chelsea one. But yeah, for a normal bookmaker, doing them separately like that should be exactly the same as doing it combined. So there we go. Whilst I love playing cricket, Gajan, I don't really follow cricket matches all that much. Yeah, Senegal just scored. They did indeed. W Senegal. So unfortunately, if you were watching, if you got on the 1.83, happy days. If you got on Senegal win to 0 at... Oh, Anthony, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, yeah. Then, yeah, happy days. It's 1.22. Oh, I see what you mean. So, yeah, so... that's really smart, actually. So, if you're on a website, if you have a website that does the early payout, like Bet365, everyone always asks me the best betting website. It's Bet365, hands down. It's the reason they're the biggest. So, if you can find any sort of discrepancies, let's try it with the Bundesliga, right? So, result on both teams to score, 3.25. If we go Dortmund and both teams to score, why can't that be placed as a bet builder? That makes no sense. They're on to us. That makes no sense. There we go. 3.25. So there we go. So yeah, actually, instead of doing this, you're better off doing this because then... But then, actually, it doesn't really... Yeah. So then if Dortmund take a 2-goal lead, then that gets ticked off. Then all you need is a goal for Frankfurt. But then if you pick this selection here... If Frankfurt then come back and draw 2-2, your bet loses. But for this one, if Frankfurt come back and draw 2-2, you get an early payout here and it wins. Dude, that's revolutionary. I don't know why the odds... That's incredible. That is unbelievable, Anthony. I like... That's so big to the point where I feel like I need to make a video about it. And I very rarely make other videos about other things. I might make a note of that. That is big. Let me just write down your name as well, so I can credit you if I do decide to make the video. Obviously, it's been discovered in the stream, but I want to do a comprehensive look at it for for other people. W. Anthony. So that one works. Let's see if it works for the other German one. So, because obviously we had a treble, didn't we? Bayer Leverkusen is 3.1. If you do Bayer Leverkusen early payout and both teams to score, does it make 3.1? It's kind of bugging out on me. Can we get this back? Apparently not. Oh, it's broken. It knows what we're doing. It's broken. Let me refresh the page. Okay. So Bayern and then Bayer Leverkusen. 3.1. So was that the same odds? It was. Oh my gosh. What a genius. So then Bayern Munich to win and both teams to score as a double. So if this gets to 2.1, cool. That one goes up. That one gets you even better. That makes no sense. So, okay, so how have they given any... Hang on. They're not offering a stake. Bet Builder 3. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So, let's say 10. 216.61, 21.66. If you chuck it in this market, 2.1. Yeah, for some reason, it's literally lower. So, you get lower odds at 21.15 instead of 21.66. And if your team goes 2 goals up and then throws away the win, you still win. You get better odds. That's outrageous. Oh my gosh. So you get 21.15 odds for this. Higher odds for doing it. Oh my. That's incredible. That is incredible. Wow. Thank you, Anthony. I will probably be making a video on that, because until that gets patched, because I feel like they should, what they should do is what they did with the Chelsea game, right? So, because obviously they offer early payout. Actually, can you put the early... This is another one. Can you put the enhanced prices in your ACCA as well? Or not? No, you can't. Okay. Okay, fair enough. All right. So with the Chelsea one, the odds for Chelsea to win and both teams to score were 2.87. If you combine the two, it goes to 2.8. That makes more sense. So that's what it should be for every single other time you do that. But this is the only game where the odds seem to take this early payout into account. All the others offer the same odds for the both teams to score and result as a bet builder, which allows your bet to win even if your team throws away a 2-goal lead. Oh my god, that is amazing. It will get patched eventually, and no doubt if I make a video on it, that'll only bring attention to it. But I will need to do that because people need to realize that. Anyway, let's take a little look at tonight's games. So, in the FA Cup, we have a couple. I think, like I said, I like both teams to score here. I think Port Vale should beat Fleetwood Town. I think Preston should beat Wigan, but could see a potential for both teams to score. Wrexham, Nottingham Forest, both teams to score as well. We'll go with Preston for the win. There's a little 10 odds FA Cup fourfold for tonight. Both teams to score: Wrexham, Forest, MK Dons, Oxford, and then Port Vale and Preston to get the home win at 1.8 odds. If we look at the other games tonight, obviously, we had Senegal to win. That was actually one of my stake builders essentially tonight. If you look at on Patreon, if you the idea of the stake builder challenge is, say you take one unit, say it's a tenner, you chuck a tenner on something at evens, it doubles your money to 20. Then you take the 20, chuck it on an evens, goes 40, 40 becomes 80, 80 160, 160 320, 640, 1280, 2560, 5,000. 120, 10,240. It's a way of doubling your money every time. Obviously, you have to have the guts to, in that scenario, place 5,000 on one double. But then, obviously, if it loses, you only then lose the initial unit. So what you could do is, say your unit price is 100. If you do 100 to 200, 200 to 400, and then you take out that original 100, so you lose nothing, and then you have 300 left. Then you go 300, 600, 1200, 2400, 4800, 9600, 18,200, and so on. And then if you can take it out whenever, take any profit you want, but then if you lose nothing. So that's the idea with the stake builder, and today's stake builder was Senegal to win and under 3.5 goals. That doubled your money. So if you look at the odds for that now, I mean, Senegal to win and under 3.5 goals is 1.4. So you got that at way above 2 actually by kickoff, because Senegal to win was at 1.9 about an hour ago. But who actually scored it? It was a goal from Njai. Okay. What a player, by the way. But yeah, Mali obviously are winless in AFCON, believe it or not. Crazy stat, but Mali are in the quarterfinals. They haven't won a game. They drew all group stage games, drew the round of 16, and won on penalties. And that was a late goal against Tunisia that got them the draw. So Mali have been underwhelming, to say the least. Senegal have been decent, so good stuff there. What website do you use for stats? I use kind of all different websites. Honestly, the Bet365 head-to-heads are really good. So if you look at Weekend Soccer, just go to Italy, Como Bologna, click on the stats, and there you go. You've got head-to-heads, recent matchups, recent games, stats, all of that there. Also websites like FOTMob, just anywhere that you can find stats, head-to-head records, anything you can Google, they're decent. Because obviously stats and everything are not opinion-based. It's fact. So it's not like websites can really get it wrong. So yeah, I'm not too particular as to where I get my stats from, as long as it's backed up, really. So yeah, but if we look at the rest of tonight real quick, I do think Morocco will win. This game's a tricky one. It should go unders. It should be a draw, but it could be 1-1, could be 0-0. Who knows? Dortmund should win it, but you know, we've had weird games in the Bundesliga on a Friday night where you expect loads of goals, and like Leipzig on Friday night a few weeks ago, it just ended 0-0. So what on earth are you supposed to do? Eredivisie has, of course, been cancelled as well. So there's not a lot going on tonight. If you want to go for a little winners treble, Nottingham Forest should win, really. You've got an away day winners treble there of Morocco, Dortmund and Nottingham Forest at 5.15. But the real excitement is tomorrow and Sunday, as always. Can you say 100% sure bets, totals? Mohammed, no, I can't. If anyone claims to you that they can tell you a bet of any odds, let alone odds of 10, that it's 100% coming in, they are lying. You know, a lot of people, there's a lot of scams out there, people offering paid services. They'll show you a screenshot of like a correct score treble where they put like 100 on 3 correct scores and won like 50 grand, and they'll say, here are the fixed games. It's all a scam, it's all a lie. Nobody knows, because if they knew what was fixed and everything like that, even though it's not, if they knew what the scores were going to be, they wouldn't be trying to sell it to you. Okay, they'd just bet on it and win themselves. So here what we're doing is just, as a community, somewhat speculating, doing our best to try and find value and stay on the right side of the money. That's what we're trying to do. With that being said, I can do my best to come up with a tenfold that I like the look of. Udinese, Pisa. Pisa are rubbish. Udinese won away. I think they win at home. Udinese 1.83. Roma to win. Atalanta. I really like those in those leagues. If we move to Germany, Freiburg should beat Hamburg, but I'll leave it alone. Screw it. Add Bayern Munich in there. Why not? Gladbach to win as well. And then Spain. Barcelona looks pretty good. Villarreal. So you might as well take out Bayern Munich there. You could probably take out Roma. No, that actually adds quite a lot. So if we add Roma back into the mix, Atalanta have been a bit dodgy. So Roma, Udinese, and Espanyol double chance. There you go. Nothing's guaranteed, but I like these. Villarreal should win at home, no question. Gladbach at home, Udinese at home, Roma at home. All these 4 winners are at home, and not only are they at home, so they have the home advantage, they're better pound for pound and on paper. So even at a neutral ground, you'd expect them to win. Pisa are rubbish. Gladbach are better than Augsburg. Villarreal are better than Alaves. Roma are better than Sassuolo. And then Levante is the only home team here that we're backing to lose, or not even lose, could be a draw. Espanyol won 5 straight games before facing Barcelona, and they only lost to a late 2-0. Espanyol not to lose. So I think that at 10.6 is really, really good. So if that's it, I believe we are done. Just going to check. Senegal still winning. probably going to go into halftime 1-0. I don't expect there'll be more than 3.5 goals, of course. Thank you, sir. No worries, Mohammed. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. It is a rare occasion, obviously. Saturday is the only day on the Full 90 where I don't upload. I do, of course, still post a post over on the Patreon with picks, accumulators, stake builder challenges. So I still do work on Saturdays, but no video content. So check the Patreon link in the description if you want to see that. If not, I will be posting a video on Sunday, as we've got videos every day next week as well. So that is going to do it for this stream. If you did enjoy it, drop a like, subscribe so you don't miss any future content, and I'll see you in the next one very soon.